Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Meister Tarot. Okay, I will be the first to admit I was totally off on my prediction of what this bombshell hearing would entail, and yes, it is another reminder not to bring my biases into it. But if I look back on the cards of the reading of a couple of days ago, uh, they are investigating this phone call between Trump and Putin on Air Force One. They have information that's coming forward to them, very strong information, and it will come to light. Great reminder of the information that was disclosed that the patriarchy, the arrogant money patriarchy, seem to forget that the hired help exists, those that pick up and clean up and serve, etc., that are in the background actually making everything happen. Hello, Spotty. Seem to have forgotten they exist, but they hear all and see all. So I imagine there'll be more information that comes out from the likes of Cassidy. Had to laugh at Trump's reaction. Don't know her, never met her, heard she's a bad person, pleaded for a favour from me, which I denied, and it's just typical playbook. So we'll just take that with a grain of salt. The information, yes, fascinating, and backed up a lot of what had already been presented. I love how the January 6th Commission built the drama about this special hearing to keep people interested in what's happening, and it also did confirm a lot of what we had already known. But I don't know about you, I didn't actually find it personally bombshell. I had assumed that Trump knew it was going to be violent. I had assumed he'd had a hissy fit behind the scenes, throwing his lunch at the wall with tomato sauce and all, trying to grab the steering wheel of the Secret Service driver because he didn't like what they'd told him. I was surprised by absolutely nothing of it. I just had already thought that was common knowledge. But anyhow, it does confirm a lot of what has previously been disclosed, so that is brilliant. That is really good. Bit of housekeeping. Woohoo! Sweden and Finland, as I had read on 6-8 months ago, when Putin was first doing a little bit of a rumble long time prior to invading Ukraine, had read that yes, they would be brought into NATO, and the first step of that has occurred. So Turkey has removed its opposition, and the invitation has been made, and there's 2 countries will be joining into NATO as predicted. Trump's social also predicted that would go down the gurgler, which looks like is happening. Digital World acquisition was supposed to merge with Trump Media, supplying Trump Media with $1.3 billion as a takeover of Trump's social. The Southern District of New York has issued subpoenas to Digital World acquisition, claiming that there was to the board of directors, the CEOs of DWA, because apparently there had been discussions, agreements go on prior to being launched on the stock market, and highly illegal. Doesn't surprise me. So what I want to have a quick look at is, now this is entertainment purposes only, allegedly. A couple of things have come out during the week that caught my attention. Not terribly excited about reading about one of them, but I'll have a look at the second one. There are reports that a high school colleague of Ivanka Trump's, now it may be college, it may be, I don't know, I can't get my head around your system in the US, so I'm going to say high school, because our high school runs from years 7 through to 12, which is basically the final episode of schooling before you go on to university. During that period, Miss Ivanka had allegedly, according to this school colleague, had a couple of abortions. I am totally not interested. That is totally her business. But the hypocrisy just absolutely reeks in regards to this particular family. But I did want to have a look to see. It did get me thinking about with Trump himself, and I am curious as to whether any ex-mistresses will come out and dob the do on him. So I'll have a quick look at that. Not overly interested, more interested in how he's feeling at the moment with everything, especially the fact of his two childish hissy fit tantrums coming to light. I mean, goodness, so the plate of food was apparently thrown when Barr had advised him that there was no fraud. So I want to have a quick look at just Trump's general feeling at the moment. If you've got any questions, please put them in the box below, and I'll have a look too to see what we may glean from Eastman's phone being seized. He was pivotal, along with Mark Meadows, in all that happened. So we'll just see if we can find anything in regards to that. But tell me, Meister, tell me. Hadn't even asked a question and these two have popped out. Great anxiety and having to defend himself. Not quite sure whether that's Trump or Eastman, but they are, whoever it is out of those two, they are not sleeping. So first of all, just tell me, will any of Trump's ex-mistresses come out of the woodwork? Will any of Trump's... Now I noticed Ghislaine Maxwell was sentenced to aiding and abetting Jeffrey Epstein. Got cards flinging out at me everywhere. They are a bit slippery, these cards. Tell me about Trump's ex-mistresses. Are any going to come out of the woodwork? Are any ex-mistresses going to come out of the woodwork? I'm getting payments made, non-disclosure agreements signed. Will any of Trump's ex-mistresses come out of the woodwork? Not feeling it. I think they're just... it's part of their past that they want to forget. But let's have a look. Will any of Trump's ex-mistresses come out of the woodwork? Using my trip and wait. Page of Wands. There will be a message of some sort, perhaps just rumour and speculation, because it is a page, not terribly terribly high up on the ladder. Yeah, so it's basically reaffirming what I was feeling while I was shuffling. That, yeah, there's rumours, there's speculation, allegedly. The heart is pierced here, heartbreak, loss, disappointment, the Trump org, and restriction. So what I'm seeing pretty much is that it was part of their past that I wouldn't say they're ashamed, but they just don't want to have to be part of, deal with anymore. They're paid off by the Trump org, and there is some sort of restriction on them, so I'm pretty sure that's a non-disclosure agreement of some sort. I love these cards I've got on the bottom here. They're just describing everything at the moment. Abuse of power, deception, people walking away from this dude on the battlefield who's so smug about it, tower moment, and wounded in battle, defeated, ill health. Okay, thank you, Meister, ill health. But no, not getting any mistresses, so we shall have a look at the next question. How's Trump actually feeling? What's happening with Trump in regards to this? Aside from the usual playbook. Don't know her, never met her. Heard she was awful. Pleaded with me for a favour, which I denied. You know, the usual Trump playbook. Haven't really heard a lot from Trump lately. So just tell me, how's Trump feeling about all that's coming out at the January the 6th? How's Trump feeling? The information that he tried to grab the steering wheel, demanding he be taken to the Capitol because he was the president. They had to do what he said. Hope he got an elbow in the face in regards to that action. Tell me about how Trump is feeling, Master. Tell me about how Trump is feeling right now. Temperance has popped out. Grounded, both in water and on land. This is very much about the rebalancing. But tell me how Trump is feeling. When I say rebalancing, I'm talking about all this information that's coming out. It's going to take years. However, what is happening is they are undoing decades of corruption, decades that this was in play. Since Reagan's era, I'm getting. Okay, tell me how Trump is feeling about all this. Tell me how Trump is feeling about all this information coming out. Okay, let's have a look. The world, endings and beginnings. But also a culmination crossed by the High Priestess. Secrets being revealed, a hidden agenda coming forward. There are things, okay, so there are things that we will never learn about what went on, and I suppose that's the same with everything in life, but it is very much about bringing to a closure everything that has gone on before. Loss and disappointment with what's happened. The 3 spilled cups, however, there still are 2 cups upright and a path forward if one chooses to take it. This is how Trump feels. In the past, it's all about partnerships and contracts and agreements that he thought were firm but starting to unravel, but this is in the past. But what I'm getting here is that he's disappointed with what's been happening, but he still thinks he's in with a shot. There are going to be a lot more bombshells come forward. We know that. Immediate future, the guru. This is the emperor, the patriarch, my way or the highway, immediate future. Externally, everything's going to be, that one's not the emperor, that's the Hierophant. The Hierophant, so in the immediate future is the government and the legal system. Externally, everything is going to be revealed. Internally, he still thinks that he's King Muck. He still thinks that, I was the president. So he's actually still quite confident within himself. Hopes and fears, the magician. He thinks he can pull a rabbit out of a hat. King of Pentacles, this is Trump. Ace of Wands. Disappointment at what's happening. This was about how he's feeling. And in all honesty, from what I'm seeing there, he still thinks that he's King Muck, is how I put it, that he's untouchable. Base of the pack is that a seedy underbelly is going to be revealed, that's going to lead to new emotional starts for the country as a whole. But he's And it actually, when I think about that Truth Social message he put out, he still has this arrogance that he's untouchable. So sorry about that. Okay, what I want to have a look at next is Eastman's phone. What's going to come out regarding... I always love it when there's something pops up when I split the pack. Tell me what's going to happen with... Okay, what are we going to hear? Well, not even what we're going to hear. What's the result of Eastman's phone being seized? What's the energies from Eastman's phone? Please, if there's anything you want me to read on, put it in the comments. Eastman's phone. Tell me about Eastman's phone. After such a flurry of the first the last 2 weeks, I must admit last night I felt like I was stuck inside a pinball machine. My head was popping everywhere, speculating what was going to come out with this January 6th, because it's basically a case of it could be this, it could be this, it could be this, it could be this, and everything is just worse than the other. And then because they were talking about that it was bombshell information, I naturally expected the worst. Yeah, it was important, but I wouldn't have said it was earth-shattering. But anyhow, tell me about Eastman's phone. Tell me. But we know there's going to be more hearings. Tell me about Eastman's phone. Tell me about Eastman's phone. Tell me about Eastman's phone. Right. We've got this smug merchant sitting here. Interesting. Crossed by the truth. Okay. Sorry if that's a bit glary on you again there. Crossed by a message of the truth coming forward, but this is also the whistleblower, traitorous information coming forward. I think, okay, right, I'll keep going with this and then I'll tell you what I think from this is what I'm getting. Star of Hope at the bottom about restoration and respite. Very much pouring one foot on the land grounded, one in the sea, one in the water, which is very much about the spiritual energies at the moment, pouring water onto both. This is the best of what is possible. Lena Rodriguez has this as her best of the USA card, and I tend to agree with her there, but it is about restoration of what is the best. In the past, mercenary, crowning the reading, well, surprise, 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 not surprised. There he is, crowning the reading. Not Eastman, it's that devil energy. Immediate future, there is going to be an emotional overwhelming coming forward. You do have the Dove of Peace here putting a coin into this cup. And this is Eastman's phone. This is all about exposing it all so that it can be purged is what I'm getting. Exposing it all so that it can be purged. Externally, it's all about the texts, the messages, the agreements. Now, I'm going to tell you now what I think this smug merchant was about under here that's being challenged by the truth coming forward. Eastman thinks he's wiped his phone, but he hasn't. I don't understand technology particularly well, but I understand it's not quite so easy as just deleting. The information is still there and it is going to come forward, whether it's by the phone companies themselves with their records or quite what. So externally he's going to have his relationships exposed, and it's going to be very uncomfortable. That's an uncomfortable relationship there. Internally, he's getting hammered by a lot of information. He knows the information that he has, not necessarily letting it out because these wands are forming a barrier, but he knows there's a lot of information there, a heck of a lot. Hopes and fears, we have this immature, infighting energy going ahead. This is Eastman's phone. Celebration, heavy burden, truth coming forward, and justice. Okay, so what's going to happen is that wands are also about communications. Well, actually they are about communications. Passions, power, communication, and careers, but this is about the communications. So these conflicting communications, he's fearful that they're going to come forward, but here they are. Here they are, these conflicting communications that he knows there's a heck of a lot of it. The outcome is there's going to be celebration as these are exposed and brought forward. The truth and justice is coming to us. We've got the Emperor. There's going to be a bombshell about the Emperor. And then, as always, karma, destiny, fate is going to come back and bite them on the backside. The rising and fallings of fortunes. So there is a bombshell about the Emperor that's going to come forward and it's going to just bite them on the backside in regards to homeland security, money laundering, dark money, bribery, you name it, it's all there. It is under investigation at the moment and it is going to come forward. There is an inevitability about it. So the main point I'm getting from that is Eastman, because his phone was only seized last week and he has wiped incriminating evidence off it, he thinks he's hunky-dory, but sorry to tell him that it's not. Okay, I think that's probably enough for today. What have I got? I've got the SCOTUS. Oh gosh. So what the SCOTUS have done, they've also overturned the right not to. So what it is at schools, they've brought back the right of prayer back into schools. So if your football coach demands that you pray before a game, then you have no recourse against. So if you say you don't want to pray before a football game, then the coach can say, well, if you're not going to, you're off the team and you have no recourse. Whereas before you could say, no, it's not part of my belief. So that's so those cases, Engel versus Vital and Kennedy versus Brereton, if I can read my writing correctly, those have been overturned. So now there is no recourse in regards to prayer in school. I'll have a look tomorrow, unless something else comes up, about what else the SCOTUS is going to touch on, what else they're going to put their finger in. All these actions that they're taking are actually feeding into positivity for the Democrats. I'm not quite sure of their motives. I think what they're trying to do is get through as much as they can before the midterms, thinking that they're not going to have control over after the midterms. But it's backfiring on them like so many other recent occurrences in the world. When they think they're taking a particular path, it turns out that it's backfired. Okay, any questions, put them in the box below. Bit of a mellow one today, and we'll see where it all leads us. Okay, thank you for joining me. Stay sane, stay informed, do what you can, don't feel guilty at what you can't, and I love you all. Thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.